This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gipsky. We begin with breaking news, a homicide investigation in Southwest Bakersfield. 17's Raphael Stroud joins us now with more. Raph, what can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Nicole. Like you said, KCSO just confirmed not too long ago they're here for a homicide. Now, according to KCSO, details are still pretty slim. They were called out here at around 8:40 this morning for reports of a man down. Once they arrived, they found that man. He was pronounced dead right here on this street. In fact, the coroner just removed his body not too long ago. Other than that, we don't actually know what led up to his death. We don't know what kind of wounds he suffered. We also don't have any suspect information at this time. So KCSO is asking anyone who might know a little more about what happened here, give them a call at 861-3110 or stay anonymous and call current secret witness at 322-4040. From Southwest Bakersfield, Raphael Stroud, 17 News.
All right, thanks so much for that, Raphael. We will keep you updated, and to learn more information, you can always head to our website, kget.com. Well, we're learning more information about a 4-car pileup that left one person dead and another injured. According to California Highway Patrol, it happened just after 4 p.m. yesterday on southbound Highway 99, just north of Olive Drive. CHP says a 72-year-old man failed to slow down on the 99 and crashed into the vehicle in front of him, causing a chain reaction. The 72-year-old man died as a result of the crash. A woman was injured and taken to a local hospital for treatment. The other 2 drivers were not hurt. CHP says all 4 drivers were wearing their seatbelts at the time. Alcohol and drugs do not appear to be factors. And the 17-year-old killed in a solo crash on Highway 178 on Sunday has been identified. Alejandro Diaz Martinez was a passenger in the vehicle that overturned on 178 at the Beale Avenue off-ramp. Martinez was seriously hurt and taken to the hospital, where he later died. The CHP says that driver made an unsafe turn to avoid an object in the roadway and lost control of the vehicle. The car hit a curb, causing the vehicle to flip. Martinez was not wearing his seatbelt at the time and was ejected from the car. The 22-year-old driver suffered minor injuries. Now to current sober reality, with police saying a crash on Truxtun Avenue was caused by a drunk driver. Investigators say 3 cars crashed just before 7:45 last night near the West Side Parkway. According to BPD, the investigation revealed a man going west on Truxtun Avenue lost control of his car and crossed into the eastbound lanes, causing a crash with 2 other cars. The man was taken to the hospital along with another driver involved in the crash. Police say the man was driving under the influence. He'll be taken into custody once he's released from the hospital. And we now know the name of the man hit and killed. Now that driver is still on the run. The deadly hit and run happened just after 12:30 a.m. Sunday at Edison Highway in Mount Vernon Avenue. CHP says 37-year-old Pedro Moreno Torres was walking outside a crosswalk when he was hit by a car. The driver took off. Now, Torres died at the scene. Officials say the car involved an older silver compact sedan with a damaged headlight. Now in your 17 Court Watch, doctors need more time to assess the man accused of murdering a 21-year-old Ridgecrest woman. Now 20-year-old Daniel Gunnerson is accused of stabbing and mutilating the corpse of 21-year-old Katie Pham in May at a home on Skylark Avenue. The two had known each other since high school, according to friends and family. Gunnerson was examined by a psychiatric to determine if he understands the criminal proceedings against him. Now, if he's found incompetent, he'll be placed in a state hospital until restored to competency. A hearing to discuss the results of the examination was scheduled for today, but that has since been postponed to August 3rd. A motive for the killing has not yet been released. And the 76-year-old woman accused of murdering her roommate at a local retirement home is set to make her court appearance today. Bakersfield police say 76-year-old Sandra Bonertz killed her roommate Saturday night at Pinewood Glen Retirement Community. The complex is run by the Housing Authority of Kern County, the organization calling it a domestic violence tragedy and noting that weapons are supposed to be restricted. But according to BPD, officers found Bonertz armed with a gun. Jack Fowler lives at the community and believes staffing could be stronger on weekends to help with security and other issues.
I've never felt unsafe here, although it concerns me that we don't have a presence of somebody over the weekend and the long holidays.
Bonertz has no criminal record in Kern County, and police won't reveal a possible motive at this time. Now to coronavirus news. As the Delta variant spreads among the unvaccinated, hospitals in at least 5 states are struggling to keep pace with a new COVID surge. Even as health officials work to overcome vaccine reluctance, the FDA has issued a new warning connected with the Johnson & Johnson shot. NBC's Miguel Almaguer has more.
The FDA warning is another setback for Johnson & Johnson, but doctors insist the vaccine benefits of the single shot still strongly outweigh the rare risk. Among the nearly 13 million Americans who've received the J&J vaccine, the FDA says 95 people were hospitalized with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare neurological disorder with 1 reported death. 62-year-old Tom Gorman was training to hike the Appalachian Trail when symptoms set in.
I went to being physically fit to being in a wheelchair.
Gorman still hopes to walk again and says he's still pro-vaccine, noting COVID-19 patients are also at increased risk for the disorder. The FDA says the J&J vaccine is still safe and effective, but the setback comes during a midsummer COVID surge, threatening the progress the U.S. has seen since the start of the year. COVID cases are on the rise in 28 states, with a third of those new cases in 5 hotspots, all with low vaccination rates. And there's growing concern for one significant unvaccinated population, children under 12 who aren't yet eligible for vaccines. They're still vulnerable, adding stress for parents with the new school year approaching. It comes as the CDC says schools should prioritize in-person learning, and while some American adults refuse to be inoculated. Meantime, Pfizer is seeking federal authorization for a 3rd dose of its vaccine, driven by fears of the Delta variant. Officials at the World Health Organization blasting the idea, arguing the pharmaceutical giant should send doses to countries desperate for help now.
This is still a global crisis, and it is a time to protect those who are most vulnerable in our society.
Meantime, the CDC is updating their guidance on the mask mandate for children in schools. The CDC says children who are not vaccinated should wear masks in school, though many states are already rejecting those guidelines. Now in California, all students will be required to wear masks in class, even if they are vaccinated, just to be safe. Now 17's Christian Galino will have a look at local reaction to the ongoing mask mandate tonight on 17 News at 5, and 17's Ashley Zavala will have state reaction tonight at 6.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Well, good news. If you received the flu shot this year, getting the shot may protect you against some of the severe effects of COVID-19. Researchers studied data from more than 37,000 COVID-19 patients from around the world. They found those who did not get the flu shot were more likely to visit the ER, develop sepsis, have a stroke, and be admitted to the ICU. However, the study authors say that the risk of death was not reduced between the 2 groups. The scientists say more research is needed and that the flu shot should not be used as a replacement for the COVID-19 vaccine. The growing threat for wildfires continues as extreme heat and drought make conditions even worse. Now 58 wildfires are burning across the West. The bootleg fire in Oregon is the nation's largest and is racing out of control. And firefighters are having to battle these blazes in record-breaking heat. Scientists say this is a clear hallmark of climate change. After the hottest June on record, Las Vegas and St. George, Utah hit weekend records of 117 degrees. Death Valley unbearable at 130 degrees. Meantime, in Mariposa and Madera counties, the so-called river fire exploded in size Monday night. It has now scorched more than 8,000 acres of oak and grassland woodland in the Sierra Nevada foothills. Containment this hour is pegged at just 10%. The quick-moving fire forced hundreds of residents to evacuate their homes as firefighters battled hot and dry conditions. Our local firefighters are helping to get an upper hand on that blaze. Kern County Fire Department says they sent a crew. About 30 local firemen are helping to battle fires across the state as they impact us here at home. Now, that river fire has triggered an air alert from the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. The Air District urges all residents in the Central and Southern Valley to stay indoors to reduce your exposure to particulate matter emissions from wildfire smoke. The health caution will remain in place until the river fire is extinguished. Taking a look around town now, the Kern County Sheriff's Office is excited to promote 24 employees. Now, this morning, KCSO held a ceremony honoring those 24 who are moving up in the ranks. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood handed out new titles ranging from chief deputy to deputy coroner to maintenance worker. Sheriff Youngblood says this is the first time in-person ceremonies have happened in over a year, and he's happy to have everyone back together to celebrate. And the Kern County Fire Department is making some similar changes. The department is congratulating Michael Slayton on his new appointment as deputy chief. He's set to move into the position on Saturday. Now, Butch, Augusta, Denicio Mitchell, and Zachary Wells were also promoted. Now they'll take over as the department's new deputy chiefs. This follows the recent resignations of 3 KCFD chiefs, as well as the retirement of Chief David Witt, who spent more than 20 years with the department. Meantime, the Bakersfield Police Department is holding a community workshop next week. They're partnering with the Bakersfield Community Policing Organization to bring community members together for meaningful conversations with Metro Zone officers. Now, here's a look at the area Metro Officers Patrol. That workshop is happening next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Compassion Christian Center, located at 1030 4th Street. Now, taking a look at entertainment news, you can experience the music of Led Zeppelin this fall. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening is coming to Bakersfield. The concert is set for October 16th at the Dignity Health Amphitheater in the Park at Riverwalk. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. on AXS.com. Finally at noon, 2 local baseball players are heading to the big leagues. CSUB's Jacen Roberson was selected in the 16th round of the 2021 MLB draft by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Roberson is a Bakersfield native and a Garces Memorial High School graduate. He has been a center fielder for CSUB and has received several honors, including Big West Conference's Player of the Year earlier this year. And former Stockdale High student Sean Mullen is heading to the Tampa Bay Rays. Mullen was officially selected as the 11th round pick of the Rays. A big congratulations to Jacen and Sean. Good for you both. And that's it for us here at 17 News at noon. We have much more news ahead at 5. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.